Good evening, sugar gliders. Welcome to our lesson on mixed numbers and improper fractions. We're going to start with a model, then we're going to look at what a mixed number is and what an improper fraction is. So our first model, we're going to represent one whole that is split into halves. So each part of that whole is 1/2. And we're going to show another half. So a mixed number means it's a whole number plus a fraction part. So in this case, we have one whole, the half plus the half, plus that other half. So 1/2. If we counted all the halves, we would count 1, 2, 3, 3 halves. That's an improper fraction. 1 1/2 and 3 halves represent the same value. If you look at the model, they're the same thing. What's an improper fraction? It's a fraction in which the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator, and we can see that 3 is greater than 2, so this really means it's going to be not a fraction but a mixed number. Let's look at another example. I'm going to have two whole pieces that I'm going to cut into thirds, and then I'm going to have 2/3 left over. Okay, so if I looked at this, I would have 2 whole pieces plus 2/3, so that's 2 2/3. If I counted each piece separately, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8/3. Again, they have the same value, it's just a different form of that number. And finally, if I have a number, let's take fourths. If I have a whole piece that's been cut into 4 equal sections, and then I do 3 more of those pieces, that would be 1 whole plus 3/4, kind of a sloppy fourth there, but 1 3/4. If I counted all the pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I have 7/4. Okay, so you can see from the model and the mathematical numbers that they represent the same thing. Let's look and see, though, now how we would take a mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction doing it using math. So if I look at my 1/2, what I would be thinking to change it to 3 halves is 2 times 1 plus 1. So here's what I just did. 2 times 1, that gave me 2 of those half pieces, plus that 1 extra half, and keep the same denominator. So when I work it out, I get 2 times 1 is 3 plus 1. I'm sorry, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, and my denominator stays the same. Let's try it with our next example. Take your denominator, multiply it by the whole number. 3 times 2, I know that's 6. Then I add on that 2 plus 2, and I get 8. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 equals 8 over 3. So my 3 times 2 meant that I had 3 of those pieces in 2 of the circles, and then I had 2 left over. And our last example, I have one piece that's made up of 4, so 4 times 1 is 4, plus those 3 extras is 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and I keep the same denominator. So that's how I do that mathematically. Let's look and see how I can change my improper fraction back into a mixed number. All it is really is a division problem. If we recall, that fraction bar means divide. We can look at this as 3 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 one time. That's the whole number I get. 1 times 2 is 2, and I subtract and get 1 left over. That's my half piece left over. Take the remainder and make it the numerator and keep the same denominator. So 3 halves is just a division problem. 3 divided by 2 is 1 1/2. 8/3 is a division problem. I can think in my head 3 goes into 8 2 times. I know 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to have 8 minus 6, 2 left over, and 3 is my denominator. If you didn't follow that, that would look like this. Here's what I just said. 3 goes into 8 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. There's my remainder, 2, and I get 2/3. And Miss Roan is here. Yay! And then the next one. I think it's working. 4 goes into, I'll show you the division. 4 goes into 7 once, and 3 is left over, and that becomes 3/4. So go ahead and try the practice on the bottom. I'll fill in these blanks for you really quickly, and you can read these on your own. By the whole number. Okay, go ahead and try changing a mixed number into an improper fraction and an improper fraction into a mixed number.